I opened my eyes to greet my angel. However, my angel didn't return my smile. In fact, she was frowning. "Good morning, sleepyhead." Her eyebrow twitched. She brought her hand up and flicked my forehead. I raised my arms to rub my head and to block any future attacks. Finally free from my grasp, Sasha jumped up and made a break for the door. "What was that for?" "You refused to let me go. Do you know what time it is?" Wait. "Just look out the window." I did. It was pitch black outside. I glanced at my clock. By the bed, it read 10:05. Whoa, we slept a lot. "You think? My parents are gonna kill me. I don't know what to do. They're gonna be mad at me for staying out this late, but they'll also be mad if I go out at night." "What are they so worried about?" "I don't know. Maybe they're worried someone will attack me. I honestly don't know. It's just how I've been raised. I'm gonna respect it." "You are with me. I'll protect you." What should I do?" "Just call them and tell them that you're at a friend's house and you didn't notice the time." "No, they'll be mad at me if I do that." "Then just tell them you're staying at the friend's house. Then you don't have to go out at night." "They knew I was gonna go hang out with you. Do you honestly think they'll be okay with me staying at your house?" "Fine, whatever. I'll take you home." "But they're gonna be so mad." "Sounds like you're screwed no matter what, honestly." "This is all your fault." I grabbed my jacket I had thrown on a chair when I entered the room. Was all she said as she headed out. I let out a sigh as I followed her. The walk back to her place was full of silence. She didn't talk to me, nor did we hold hands. I felt very lonely. "Good night, Evan." She spun on her heel and headed up to her walkway. "No goodnight kiss even? You'll live." And with that, she headed into the house. Well, that's what you get, Evan. I let out a sigh as the door slammed behind her. It felt like my heart. I noticed a curtain move in her living room. Her father was standing there, watching me with a cold, narrowed gaze. Uh-oh, he's pissed. Just sitting out in the living room with a shotgun, waiting to see who comes by the house. I gulped. I knew her parents didn't like me already, and this was gonna make things worse. I raised my hand up and waved at him. He didn't react at all. His sharp gaze stayed focused on me. It caused me to feel shivers. It was so cold, so unfeeling, like he was looking at a bug about to be squashed. I put my hand down and began to walk away. I took about 10 steps before I glanced back towards the house. Her dad was still there watching me. Still with that icy stare. What a creeper. It honestly made me feel uncomfortable. I turned and began running down the street. I wanted to get away from that gaze. What a weirdo. Umbra. I guess we're moving to the next chapter. My eyes flew open as soon as I woke up. I knew something was wrong. My gaze flew to the clock. Oh shit. The clock numbers blared 10 a.m. I was 3 hours late for school. I threw the blankets into a corner, probably a bad idea, because when I wanted them, they'd probably be lost forever. But I had to hurry. I snatched up my clothes and threw them on so fast they tore a little. Way to go. Damn it. If it wasn't for Sasha, I'd not even care, and just go back to sleep. But after what happened last night, I wanted to stay in her good graces. Going to be late. And then my window snagged my attention. Or rather, what was outside the window. What the? The sky was black. It looked like it was still night. It was as if the sun had also decided to sleep in. I glanced back at the clock to double check. It says AM. Did it break? Just to make sure, I looked at the clock on my TV. It said the same as the desk clock. What? But that can't be right. Why is it so dark outside? Were we going to have a solar eclipse today? I headed out of my room and down the stairs. I found my parents quickly. My dad was on the phone, while my mom just stared out the window. Yeah, and this is where I said, guys, where things start to get a bit interesting. I stood in the doorway until Dad hung up on the phone. His expression was dark. It seemed I wasn't the only one concerned about what was going on outside. What's going on? My words made my parents notice my presence and they both turned to me. Dad bit his lip while Mom looked away. They didn't know. I've called the mayor and the others are on the force. Everyone is just as confused. Does this mean I'm exempted from school? No. Damn. Just be careful. Something bizarre is happening. Is it really time to be worrying about school? I'm sure we're just experiencing some freak weather anomaly. Tomorrow everything will be back to normal. Ultimately, I was left with no choice but to head out into the unknown darkness of school. Yeah, the music works well with this, the creepy vibes. I closed the door and stepped out into the night. It gave off a strange feeling. Walking down the street, still in the morning hours, but it being pitch black out. It wasn't just regular night. There was no moon, no stars, not even clouds. You literally saw nothing. The only spots you could see were blips where streetlights were lit up, and what was underneath them. Walking down the road meant you'd be in total darkness for a while when in a patch of light, followed by more darkness. But even that wasn't easy to see, since there was some kind of black fog. A weird black fog. It kind of reminds me a bit of Silent Hill, except it's even darker than that. It felt less like reality and more like a set of a horror movie, or a survival video game, Silent Hills. And the streetlights were the only safe zones. The fog completely swallowed up everything that wasn't light. The homes on the sides of the roads had vanished in the mess. The only way you could tell that they existed was that you could see the floating lights coming out of what one assume would be windows, as well as the lights outside as well as the house's outside lights, though they looked more like floating ghosts in the blackness. This is nuts. Just what was going on? Did we accidentally unleash hell or something? What happened to the sun? Even though I knew the road to the school well, I still would have gotten lost without the streetlights. I gulped. This didn't feel like my town anymore, or even my world. It felt like some kind of foreign world. I glanced behind me. There was only blackness, aside from the past streetlight. It felt eerie. Like my whole security had been shattered. Even the path I just took looked unfamiliar and unsafe. It felt like I would step backward into the blackness. Something would be there, waiting for me. I could honestly say, I didn't want school to end fast today. Really weird stuff. Yeah, just look out for the pyramid head. The atmosphere in the classroom was like no other. There was a sense of dread and doom, a sort of hopeless feeling. Everyone was silent except for the teacher. There was no one joking around, no one being rowdy or trying to disrupt the lesson. But even then, there was not a single person who appeared to actually be listening as the teacher lectured on and on. Every so often, even the teacher would roll off and space out while gazing out the window. It was a very special school day. I glanced around the room. Not everyone was here. In fact, a lot of the students seemed to be absent. My gaze fell upon the seat belonging to Sasha. It was not strange that she didn't show up. Her family was terrified of night. I frowned. Just how were they holding up? Were they okay? Were they panicking? Or perhaps they were taking the whole situation best. I shook my head. No, that was impossible. Eventually, class came to an end, and the teacher left the classroom. It was strange. When the bell would ring, there would normally be a mad rush towards the door. However, this time no one made a move. No one wanted to leave the security of the building. The darkness, it was intimidating. Something out of the usual routine that everyone was used to. The upset of balance caused unease. Sierra stood up and walked to the front of the classroom. She probably figured being student council president made her required to try and calm the tense situation. Everyone, give me your attention, please. She didn't have to speak twice. All eyes were drawn to her. Anything to forget about leaving school. I know what is going on outside. It seems strange and bizarre, but we need to not let it affect our well-being. We don't have any answers, but that doesn't mean we need to be afraid. We don't need to fear the darkness outside. We need to look for the positives. We need to keep our spirits up. She was slowly getting the student body to join in on her jolly mood. Let's have a darkness party. We'll have pizza and drinks and just have a good time. We don't need to be afraid. We don't need to be depressed. Come on, let's cheer up. Sierra went and somehow managed to gain approval for our party and access to basically anything she wanted, as long as the party didn't get too out of hand. I suspected that the principal wanted to rouse everyone's spirits as well, to try and find some kind of light in the darkness. Makes sense. It took a while, but our party eventually got into full swing. We had pizzas cooking in the home ec room and drinks in the cafeteria. Everyone slowly started to forget their worries. The school had some board games and other things we could use for our own entertainment and amusement. It was a calming atmosphere where the blackness outside could be forgotten, at least for the moment. I glanced over at Sierra. She was standing by herself holding her drink of cola while gazing out the window. It seemed no one really even noticed that she wasn't joining in on the fun. Hey, you should be having fun too. I don't really feel in the mood right now. I frowned as I tried to get her attention more. Shouldn't you, the person who started all this, be having a good time too? I just can't. My mind always wanders back to the blackness. But you started this party to help people. That's because it needed to be done. The mass needs to be calmed down and relax. Someone has to fill that position of calming the storm, as well as thinking ahead and keeping their mind focused on the situation at hand. That sounds kind of hypocritical. It's the way things are. I took the cup from her and gestured to where the others were having fun playing a round of charades. Well, I think you need to have some fun too. All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. Nice reference to The Shining. Another creepy piece of media. I don't mind being dull. Well, you need to take your mind off things sometimes too. Don't worry, I'll fill your position while you're gone. She gazed down at the ground. I don't know. I don't really trust you. I don't think I can. Come on, for 5 minutes, just relax a little. You need to calm your mind so you can make sure it's sharp when you need it. Finally, after a little more prodding, she relented and headed over to join the others. I thought about joining too, but what she said was bothering me. I glanced out the window at the darkness. You really could see nothing. It was like our school had been cut off from everything, and if you stepped outside, you'd walk into nothingness. Someone needed to be responsible and look at the situation. Just what were we gonna do if this kept up? Could we really live in a world like this? I felt someone's hand on my back. Hey man. Hey. So I was wondering. He leaned in close to try and prevent others from hearing us. You heard anything about what was going on? Like some kind of end of the world scenario? A terrorist attack? Some kind of alien invasion? How would I know? Dude, your dad. Come on, everyone knows he's like the number 2 man in this town. If anyone knows what's going on, either be the mayor or your dad. And chances are if the mayor knows anything, your dad knows too. You know what's going on, Evan? Tell us. Please, we want to know. And all of a sudden, now everyone wants to know, because they overheard a conversation. Suddenly, everyone in the room is flocking around me, thanks to Riker's big mouth. You know what's going on? If you know something, spit it, Kogan. I don't really know anything. I just got to school like the rest of you. Please, Evan, we want to know. Tell us. Come on, Evan. Spit it out. Please, Evan. Please tell us. Dude, he doesn't know. He just told you that. I wasn't talking to you, Tricosa. So you're bothering my friend, and that makes it my business. If Kogan knows something, he should tell us. We have a right to know what's going on. And he said he doesn't. I don't believe him. Stop it. No fighting. Tone tried to stop the fist fight that was just about to occur by stepping in front of her brother. Evan, Reed is right. We have a right to know. Look, I'm sorry, but I really don't know anything. The mood instantly soured. Everyone looked so hopeless and afraid again. I needed to do something. But maybe my dad does. There is a phone in the teacher's room. You can call him from there. I do like in this game how, this crisis hits and instantly, even though these characters have history, they kind of have to band together in this maelstrom we're encountering. Without much choice, I was paraded to the teacher's room. Everyone crowded around me as I dialed the number. They all wanted to hear what was being said on the line. Guys, stop. I want some privacy. I'll tell you whatever I hear. Yeah, get out. He wants to talk to his dad without you all butting in. Fine. Kogan, we'll give you some privacy, but you better not hold out on us. Reed escorted everyone out of the room, leaving just me and the phone. Would Dad really tell me anything? Well, there's only one way to find out. Without a moment of hesitation, I dialed my house number first. Hello? I was in luck. Dad picked up instead of Mom. Dad. Evan, what are you doing using the school's line? I need to talk to you, Dad. Is something wrong? My mouth froze. I couldn't get out the words I wanted to say. I was afraid of the answer. What if something really was bad? Something really bad was happening. Do I really want to know? Evan. Dad didn't sound particularly concerned. Maybe nothing was going on, or he didn't know anything. Dad, what's going on? Do you know what's happening? Why is the sky black? Why is there no light? I could hear my dad breathing on the other end. He knew something. He was just debating if he should tell me. I knew it. Dad, if you know the answer, tell me. I want to know. No, I need to know. Alright, I'll tell you what. Hold on, Evan. My beeper's going off. Ugh. That's what always happens in these horror movies, right when someone's about to give the information. Something comes up and they have to cut the line. Dad's beeper, that meant something was happening. He was being called to check in, or to see the mayor or some other police business. It only went off when there was duty that needed him. I'm sorry, Evan. I have to go. We'll talk later. Head home from school with someone, and then lock the door when you get back. Lock the door? But that was something we never did. We lived in such a small, trusting community. Just what was going on? I didn't get to ask Dad any questions. He just hung up the phone. I stared at the phone in my hand. I had so many things I wanted to ask him, and in the end, all I had was more questions. I didn't get any answers. I let out a sigh as I put it down. I wasn't going to tell everyone when I opened the door. I was the little hope that they were depending on, and I failed them. So nothing good. I spun around. Reed was standing next to the door with his arms folded. You don't need to say anything. I can just tell by your body language. My dad didn't even get a chance to tell me. He was called away. But he does know? He knows something. He was going to tell me before he got called away. Well, that's something, so why the long face? He told me to go home with someone and to lock the door. Reed's expression changed. So something bad is happening. Yeah. I'll tell everyone. Thanks, Reed. I'm not doing it for you, Kogan. Reed told everyone to head home and to stay with someone as long as possible. The happy mood from before was gone. The fear was back, worse than ever now. In the end, only Tone, Reed, Riker, Sierra, and myself stayed behind long enough to clean the place up. So are we going home too now? Yeah. It is probably for the best. Well, this party was a bust. We finished cleaning up and then left as well. Well, it's gonna be an interesting walk back home, I'm guessing.